Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm excited about today's show. I don't know about you, but it's so great to have you join us. You know, as I've been talking all year, it's about being grateful. You know, God has blessed us with so many gifts and so many talents, and just being able to use those gifts and talents. But more importantly, being able to tell God how grateful you are, and just being grateful for the little things. So, you know, we're coming to the close of this year, because now Christmas is coming up, Hanukkah, we have Kwanzaa, and so many celebrations coming up. But I have someone very special, and I've been wanting to have her on the show for a while. It's Miss Kiki of Kiki's Chicken and Waffles. So listen, I just want you to sit back and relax, because it's coming up next.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of the Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching the Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I always want to say thank you so much, Dr. Michael Finkley, Grammy Award nominee. And so we'll see about that in February of 2025. Congratulations, Dr. Michael Finkley, and thank you, my friend. So, as I told you, this person is a devoted wife. She's a devoted mother. She of one son, Tyler, who's 8 years old. She's a serial entrepreneur. And when you say that, you know, you have to say serialpreneur. And then, of course, she's a philanthropist and much more. So without further ado, come on out, Miss Kiki.
Thanks, Tammy.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Thank you so much, beautiful, for being on the show. You know, I didn't say your name, which is Kit Wanda. I'm saying Kiki, because people know you as Kiki.
Yes, it's Kitwanda. Kiki is actually my nickname. Some high school classmates actually gave me that nickname, and that's how Kiki kind of started, because most of my family, they call me Key. So
yeah. Well, you know, one of the things that I always ask my guests, we're sitting on the couch, we're talking. Talk about if someone says to you, "Hey, is that Kiki?" Girl, tell us about who Kiki is. Who is Kiki?
Oh man. Do I have time to go through that whole
You got time. Come on.
So Kiki, now do you want me to tell about the restaurant first, or just talk about
you? Talk about
okay.
Kiki.
So about me, I went to USC, graduated with a degree in marketing and sports entertainment management. So I do not have a culinary degree.
Wow.
You know, I always had that dream to start my own restaurant. I actually have a business plan that I did in high school to open up a restaurant called Kiki's Restaurant. And so, you know, it's always been in my mind to open it up. And, you know, once I started to work in other restaurants and watch my mom and my grandparents cook in the kitchen, you know, that's pretty much where my cooking background came from. And so when I met my husband 14, 15 years ago, while we were working at a local restaurant here in Columbia, we both wanted to open up our own restaurant. And that's pretty much what we did. We went down to Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles. Used to be the spot in Atlanta.
That's right.
We stood in line for 2 hours to get into Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles. Like I said, this place was the place to be. And, you know, we started thinking, it was like, you know, we need to bring a chicken and waffle spot to Columbia. And so that's what we did. We brought it back to Columbia, and, you know, it's been a hit ever since. You know, we have a son, Tyler. He's 8 years old. He's a little modeler and actor. So I'm a momager too, as well.
Wow. Now, Kiki, people don't know this, but you're from the Low Country. I was
Yes.
going to wait for you to say. So you are from the Low Country. You're from Johns Island.
So I'm actually from my dad's from Parker's Ferry and my mom's
Parker's
from
Ferry.
Hollywood. So
That's right.
those are
That's
my
right.
two areas I'm from. I actually lived in Charleston for a few years when I was younger, and then I moved around a lot because my dad was in the military.
Yeah, wow, that's right. So Low Country, the Gullah
Yes,
Geechee, Low
yes,
Country. All right.
yes.
Yeah. So Kiki, when we talk about this journey, because you started us out on this journey of where you and your husband wanted to do this business. Where are you now when you look at where you were then? What would you say about where you are now?
I would say that I'm very fluent in the restaurant business now because when we started out, yeah, we understood the business, but we really didn't know because we weren't owners. We didn't know that part of it, and now we understand. We understand certain things, and now we feel that we have over 100 young adults and adults that we kind of raise as our family, not raised, but they're part of our family because they have helped grow our business to where it is today. And when you have a business or a restaurant in general, your staff is what runs your business for you because you can't do it all. And so
That's
you
right.
hiring these people to work in different areas so that you can make sure it's ran the way you want it to be ran.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so I feel that we have learned so much over the years now that we can run it with our eyes closed.
Well, that's great. So, when you talk about learning, what are some of the lessons that you learned from your experiences?
Oh man. So one I've always noticed before we open is not to grow too fast. And when I say that is, when we first opened, it was very slow. I don't know what we didn't know what we were doing wrong, and we weren't really doing anything wrong. We just didn't spend as much money into marketing when we first opened because one, no one wanted to give us a bank loan because we didn't have the experience of being an entrepreneur, and then two, restaurants are always a risky business to open, so they didn't want to give us a loan. So we went all in with all our savings that we had to open up the restaurant. And so I learned that you don't want to move too fast. So when we started to get that big name in the Columbia area, we could have opened up another restaurant like 2 or 3 years in, but we didn't. We waited. We waited till we were like maybe 4 years in, and then 4 years after, about 2 years after that, then we opened up our second location. And then about 6 or 7 years later, then we opened up the Charleston location. I'm just the type that I want to take my time and make sure there's the right move.
Right.
Another lesson that I learned is, don't be afraid to ask questions. I think as women or as Black entrepreneurs, we don't want to ask questions because we're afraid of what someone's going to say, or they're not going to give us, they're not going to help us.
Mhm.
I'm the type that I have that mindset. I'm gonna go find it, find the answer. And if I can't find the answer, then I'm gonna ask someone who has been where I'm trying to go. That's very important because, you want to follow that blueprint that they went through so that you won't make the same mistake. And some people are willing to give you that information.
Yeah, yeah. So talk about being this serialpreneur. What are
Mhm.
the other businesses and how did you decide that you would go from this business to open this business to start this business?
So, the pandemic is what made me be a serialpreneur, because when the pandemic hit, it hit the hospitality industry very hard. And
Mhm.
we started thinking, it was like, wow, what do we need to start so that we can have our money make money for itself and we don't really have to do anything? Or what can we do to become financially wealthy? And real estate was number one. And so we're a real estate investor. We started out with just one property, bought it, at a low price, rehabbed it, fixed it up, and we rented it out to people who need a place to stay. So we started growing and doing that. So now that's what we do, and that's building that generational wealth, so our future kids can have something to be able to, make money for themselves when you don't have to do anything and they can keep it. What else? We have a venue. So we have a lot of people that ask about catering and renting out our restaurants. And, a restaurant, I like to keep my hours consistent. Some places they say, well, we're going to close on tomorrow because we have a private party. It's okay. But what about your customers that want to come in and dine at 5 o'clock because they're hungry? You can't turn them away. And that's where that consistency, it has to be consistent. And so I just decided, let's open up a venue. Everyone throws parties, receptions, baby showers, and then we can cater outside of that venue. And so that's what we did as well. So we have a venue named Sweet 60. And then what else we have? We used to have a liquor store, but we sold that. That just was not the business that I wanted to get into. It's not a good business for someone who just has one location. I would say, so I wasn't very into that business too well. So we actually sold it, and it was a good sale for the person who purchased it because it was basically a business in a box. We left everything in the business, showed them how to do everything. Showed them how to order all the inventory, how to, do their inventory, all that. So it was a business box. So they just basically had to walk in and put their name on the business, and that was it.
Wow. So, having all of these businesses, when people think about going into business, a lot of times they see the glory, but they don't really know the story. What about those obstacles that you and your husband face with starting your business? Can you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So when staff don't want to come in, or they can't come in because their child is sick or they're sick, and you got a restaurant full of people, what are you going to do? And, that would have to be the number one issue that, we deal with, because, when you have a restaurant that's full service and you have to have servers to serve guests, that's needed. What else would be a issue that we've had to go through? Obstacles. Once again, helping, being able to find loans in the beginning. That was a number one. We could have said, let's not do this. This is not going to work out. And just giving up, but we didn't. We just said, we're going to keep going and find a way and make a way to open up this restaurant. And we did. And now when we go into a bank, when you say, hey, I'm Kiki of Kiki Shake, oh yeah, what are you looking for? What do you need? We can help you do this. That's how it is now. So we've built our brand. We have put it in a way where we can walk into rooms and be able to be noticed. And I hate to say it, that's just what it is. That's what you have to do to build your business, because nowadays, if you come into a business and a bank and you have your business plan, they still want to see that. They want to see what you have to show for, because they want to make sure that you're going to be able to pay that loan back,
Right. They want to see if you're solid. Yeah.
Exactly. You're solid entrepreneur.
And you have skin in the game.
Exactly.
That skin in the game. Yeah.
And the same thing with the location. We wanted the location so bad. We had our mind set on it. And they told us no, because we didn't. The owners told us no because we did not have the business experience to run a restaurant. And so, we just went around and started looking for more locations, and we found the one that, that worked out pretty good for us, had, equipment and everything in there. So it was less money that we had to spend, in the beginning. I would say another obstacle probably is just finding management as well, because with the restaurant business, you're in there from open to close. We just didn't trust anybody to be able to close up and open up, so we were in there from 11 to 10 during the week, and then we actually closed at 2 a.m. when we first opened on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Wow.
It was 2 a.m. because we wanted to mirror what Gladys Knight and the Roscoes did in those large cities. And we did have the crowds that come in, but then we got tired of it, and then it brought in the wrong crowd, and so we stopped 2 a.m. Hours. But the management is very important, because for one, we like to train from within and hire up from within. And so it has our staff look forward to, better positions with us. And so when you're training them and make sure that they're doing things right, it gets hard because we have a young staff, and our young generation, they want the title, but they don't want to do the work.
They don't want to do the work.
Yeah. So that's the hardest thing. But we love them though, but it's just not the same as if we're in there. So, but I would say that our staff, they work so hard that we are able to take days off, and we're able to go on trips and not have to worry as much. I won't say I won't worry, but I won't worry as much.
That's right. Well, listen, Kiki, we're going to take a break on this note. And when we come back, I'm going to talk with you about your accomplishments. And I want to find out some things about the holiday as well, and some of those products that you have. Okay?
Awesome.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Folks, we'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
You're tuning in to the Tammy TV Show, and we bringing in that Christian rap heat with Big Geek. What up?
All right. Listen, we are back. If you're just joining us, I have the opportunity and the pleasure and honor to be talking with Kiki, the co-owner of Kiki's Chicken and Waffles. And if you haven't been, you need to go. Location is in Columbia, South Carolina, as well as Charleston, South Carolina. There are 2 locations in Columbia, right, Kiki?
Yes, we have one.
I've been to both. Two
Yep.
notch in Columbiana. That's right.
Yes.
Listen, I know, right? And then, of course, in Charleston. And when I tell you, your staff greeted me, with open arms. And I think that's so important when you're running business. When you're running a business, like you said, you want to feel comfortable about it. Mm-hmm. So Kiki, I want to talk with you about your biggest accomplishments. What's been your biggest accomplishment that you can think of?
So I would say, for this year, I was actually before that, 2018 South Carolina Chef Ambassador of South Carolina. So that was pretty big. And during that time, we had the opportunity to go around the state of South Carolina and other areas in the United States to, put it out there about our restaurant and what we do. And I had the opportunity to meet Rachel Ray and have her try our food. So it was a great experience.
Wow.
And that was, basically was appointed by the governor for that. So that was great. And then for the James Beard Award, we didn't win.
Wow.
But we were nominated this year, so that's a big thing. The Oscars of the food world.
Yes. James Beard, what? Yes, very familiar with it. So Kiki, when we talk about the all of the accomplishments that you have had, which are numerous, that we can't even go mention it on the show because it's a lot.
Yes.
What would you say has attributed to you becoming the person that you are now?
I would say mainly from just my family, because I wouldn't be where I am at today by the values that they have taught me, from just the cooking skills and the recipes that I've learned, just the discipline that they've taught me, because discipline can take your business to a whole new level. And a lot of people don't know that. People want to start their own business and be entrepreneurs, but they don't have a discipline to sit down and actually write out a business plan. Or they don't have the discipline to be that go-getter and find out the information and not want someone to give it to you. Like, I know that we have so many different free resources in South Carolina for you to get information on how to start a business or expand your business. But a lot of people don't know that. They'll pay someone $800 to help them get an EIN number. Why? It's free. You should know how to, you can do that. And we have free resources for you to learn that, or have someone help you do it. So, I thank my parents, I thank my grandparents, because, my grandmother, I talk to her almost every week. I try to every week, and she always say, every day I pray for you, and I pray for your restaurant and your businesses or whatnot. And then also just to talk to her about, just how things were back in the day. And it has me so teary-eyed sometimes when I think about it, because we're so blessed and not have to go through some of the things that they went through when they were younger. My grandmother's 83 years old, still in the kitchen, cooking and teaching me how to do certain things. So I'm still learning from her every day. Same with my mom teaches, my mom works at our North Charleston restaurant as part-time, and my brother and my sister, they work full-time there, and they agreed to do that, and I asked them and they said yes, no problem, we'll do that. And I appreciate them so much, because how would I open up a restaurant in another city that I'm not at and have it be able to be ran, the way that I want it to be ran? So that's very important.
Wow. And you talked about recipes, and that's a question that I had in my head. I wanted to ask you, whose recipes do you use? Did you come up with your own? Do you use your grandmother's, your mother? And I know you can't tell us what's in it, but anyway, whose recipes do you use?
So most of it is my grandmother and my mom. My grandmother is a good cook. My mom is too. And like when I was talking about the values, my grandmother had a meal on the table every day, Friday and sometimes Saturdays. She did not cook. We were able to get something to eat, from Burger King or whatnot. But every day she cooked. And my grandfather, he passed away during COVID or whatnot, but he used to fish and had his garden and all this type of stuff. So now I have a garden in my backyard that I do a garden, grow things or whatnot. But they taught me about growing your own food and the changes of the food that we eat and stuff like that. Different recipes, man. It's just so much that they have taught, and I have taken it all in and teaching my son now to appreciate, what we do and what we have, because, some people don't have that. Yearly, we actually started 3 or 4 years ago, going to our local food line. to pay for groceries for, just random families on Thanksgiving. And I thought about it, everyone has these turkey drives, which are good to have turkey drives. And I started thinking, I was like, if you're giving, a family a free turkey, what about the other sides and stuff like that? And so I was like, you know what? Let's randomly go to a food line or a store in our community, which is the food line. Let's go there and just pay for meals. And so that's what we did. We did it this past Thanksgiving. And just seeing the people that, put a smile on their face. One lady didn't have enough money to pay for her meals and pay for her food. And, just, by us doing that, she was so thankful. And we just enjoy giving back and helping people who don't have, enough to put food on their table.
Right. And that's why I say this is all about being grateful, because God's blessed us with so much,
Oh, yes.
And we have to show that gratefulness. Let God know how grateful we are by doing those types of things. That's why I called you a philanthropist, because I know that about you. And one of the things is, we're coming to the close. As I said, the holidays are coming up. What's your favorite part about the holidays during this time of year?
I would say just family, being around family. That's one thing, being an entrepreneur. Sometimes you can get so bogged down of work and business. But I always set aside time for family and spending time with my family. If I'm riding down in Charleston, or I'm going to a football game for my son, or we going to the movies, I'm setting aside time just to be around family, because when that time is not there, or we lose a loved one, God forbid we do lose a loved one, we're going to wish that we have that time back, and we can't get it back. Money can always come, but time won't ever come back. And so I want to make sure that I spend as much time I can with family during the holidays, and just show love, because love is all we need. We need it all in this world. So yeah,
that's it. And what's the philosophy you live by, Kiki? What's your philosophy?
What's my philosophy? Keep God first in any and everything, and God is always faithful. Before we open the restaurant up, of course, every Sunday I'm in church, and now I always try to make sure that I'm in church every Sunday. If not, I'm logging into our online services or whatnot. But I just know that always keeping God first and keeping him involved in my life and being involved in church is important. Because without him, I would not be where I am today. He's been so good to me, and I just can't ever, just not praise and give him all the glory. So
that's right. Wow. And so Kiki, talking about that, and with folks nowadays, and what would you tell someone who wants to go into business and being serious about it? What would you say to this person? And they're thinking about going into business, but they're discouraged because they may not have any funding, because somebody has told them, "Oh, girl, you can't do that. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't make sense. You need a whole bunch of money to do that." What would you say to that person?
So for one, I'll just say don't give up. And I always like to say that starting out a business is almost like going on a journey in your car, and you're trying to make it to a destination. When you're going on that journey, you're going to be at a light. You're going to be stopped at a red light. You're going to be stopped at a yellow light to slow down, or you're going to have a green light to tell you to go. You're going to hit a detour and tell you go this way, go that way, or it may tell you to go around this curve. It's not going to be a straight way where you're just going nonstop and you're not stopping. It's always going to be some sort of stopping point where you're going to have to sit and stall. Maybe, hey, think about this for a second. But then it's not going to tell you to turn around and go back home. You're going to still go to get to your destination, right? So I always think of it that way. Never give up when you're trying to get to your destination. You're always going to try to make it to that ending point. And that is to start your own business or expand your business. And so I always think of it in that, I guess you would call it that metaphor, because if we're trying to get to a destination, we're going to hit traffic. And we never say we're gonna go back home, right? We say, hey, let me just sit here and let me find another way around to get to my destination. So think about it that way. Another thing I would say, find a mentor. There's a mentor out there for somebody, but you just got to find the right person. Everybody's not going to be your mentor. Everybody's not going to be your person, but you got to find the right person. And when you do, let that person pour into you, but you got to also pour into that person too. Sometimes we want so much from someone else, but we're not pouring into them. What can you do to help that person? And when I say that, take that person out to lunch and you explain to them what you can do for them. Hey, I can post on social media for you for a couple months while you give me advice on how to start this business, or I can, answer emails for you. What can I do to help you? And one other advice I can give is, let's see, have a plan. That's what
have a plan.
Don't just go out there and just say, you know what, I'm going out here because Tammy or Kiki's doing it, and I think it's so easy because I can make it look so easy. But when I get behind them kitchen doors, you don't know that so and so just called out, and I have nobody back there frying chicken. Now I got to roll up my sleeves and fry chicken, and then I'm coming out and smiling at you and making it seem like everything is good in the back. But
that's right.
Having a plan, something doesn't go right. What are you going to do to fix it? You got to go in and ready to knock it out and get it going, because your customers, they're still going to come in and they want that good food, or they want that service that you're going to provide them. So you got to make sure it's right every time. Sometimes it may not be right, but how are you going to fix it to make sure it's right the next time? So
that's right. Kiki, talk about your products before we get off. Talk about the products. Yes. Okay.
So we have our chicken breading, and we actually developed that during COVID. It's our Kiki's chicken breading. It's actually seasoned. So those of you who don't know how to season chicken, because I know sometimes we don't know how to season chicken well, but you can actually use our chicken breading to season your chicken and just deep fried, and it tastes just like our Kiki's chicken when you come into our restaurant.
Wow.
So we have that. We have T-shirts that we will be selling by the start of the new year. And then of course we have, our menu that we have pretty much soul food, breakfast items, pretty much a good variety of food on our menu. So if you don't eat chicken and waffles, we have soul food, we have Kool-Aid, we have smothered chicken, smothered pork chops. So we have it all.
Yeah. And so Kiki, while we're talking about all these products, I want to find out what's next for you. What's next for Kiki?
The restaurant is my life. I love it. And I love meeting the people that we have met over the years. And so we want to open other locations. And we're just trying to find a strategy that fits us, and when I say fits us, we want to be in our business where people can meet us and greet us, and we can greet them. And when people say, hey, I know Kiki, that makes us feel good. And it makes our customers feel good too, that they know the owner and they can see them and talk to them. And so if we have 5 restaurants, 6 restaurants, it'll be hard for us to do it. 3 locations is hard, but we still manageable. We can drive down there and greet and meet our customers and whatnot. And so we're trying to think if we want to do the franchise route, which I really don't, but that's what we're thinking about doing to grow our soul food Kiki's Chicken and Waffles brand.
Wow, Kiki, I tell you what, I'm excited for you as always. You are just an inspiration, and just sitting here talking with you has inspired me as I have some things in my mind that I'm want to do in the new year. And so thank you for that. Thank you for being so transparent about being a business owner. My last question that I ask everybody is 3 words that describe you. 3 words.
3 words.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm lovable, friendly, and I am oh man, I would say introvert, because I love it. I'm a homebody. Homebody. Let me think of the homebody. I love to be in my house. I can be in my house all day and I don't have to go out. If I'm not working, I'm inside my house.
But you know what? You said you're an introvert, but you also an extrovert. You have both parts, because look, you wouldn't be able to sit here and do this interview and talk like this with me for the time that we have been talking.
So Tammy, you know what? You're right. And I have gotten out of my shell, because before I wouldn't do anything like this. I promise you I wouldn't. Wow. Because I like to be behind the scenes. People, like, we just did a catering today. And when my staff was like, yeah, this is Kiki right here, everybody was like, what? You're here? I didn't even know you were real. Like, people don't even know I'm real. And I like to keep it that way. But learning from my content creator, marketing friend, she was like, Kiki, you really got to get it out there. You got to tell your story. You got to get your face out there. And it's just like, okay, you're right. I do. So that's why I said I need to get out more and do these shows like this and let people know my story, because I don't know who I can be inspiring to start their own business. You know, it's a lot of people that need that push because they don't have that. So
that's right. So the next time we got to get your husband on too, so that he can share, you all can share the love story together. And how this happened.
Yes.
You know? So Kiki, again, I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, my darling, for just being who you are in God, in Christ, and just knowing your story. This is a beautiful story.
Thank you.
Yeah, and great advice. And so I'm just hoping that God will continue, and know that he will continue to bless you. That's my prayer for you and your family, your entire family, because I met you, as I told you, I met your brother. And so your entire family. And I pray that God will continue to bless you. And Tyler, tell Tyler I said hello. Grandma and Mom and everyone, I said hello. And thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you, Tammy, for having me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. So, you got to come back now. Okay. You got to come back. Much love to you, Kiki. God bless you. Happy holidays.
To you.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, folks, you heard it right here. I tell you, Kiki, co-owner of Kiki's Chicken and Waffles, two locations in Columbia, one in Charleston, South Carolina. And listen, you didn't see her handles. You can go to her website and the chicken breading to find out about the chicken breading that's there, Kiki's Chicken Breading. You can go to the Facebook page. You can go to her IG page, her X page, which we know used to be Twitter. But anyway, the X page is Kiki's Chicken. And so again, Kiki, thank you so much for being on this show, and many blessings to you. We have a great show planned for you next week. And so I want you to be prepared for that. I'm excited about it because it's getting ready to be the holiday, the Christmas show, and I'm excited about it. So again, I want to thank my producer, Alicia, associate producer, Willie. Thank you as always. Please remember to subscribe to the Tammy TV Show. You hit that red subscribe button and it will inform you and notify you when the Tammy Show is coming on. So remember, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. Don't forget to call that person up and check on them, especially during this time of the year. Thank you again for joining the show, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday and a great week. Until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.